start off with big old Yee Chris down there.
Well, apparently I'm Big E Chris. So, hey everybody. My name is Chris. I drive the 2016 Ram 1500 Rebel with the Rory Mercury gate Itasha.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt, and I drive the Shotgun Shana Scion TC. I was also here last time at Yama, if you saw it.
What's up, everybody? My name is Zach. I drive the 2014 Mustang Mobile Suit Gundam Zaku Itasha.
And then I am Morgan, and I drive the Chevrolet Malibu Dobby Itasha. Okay.
My name is Josh, and unfortunately my vehicle couldn't make it here today. I drive a 2015 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. It's a Pokemon edition, but it broke before the con.
And my name is Mike. I have the Miku XB. That's, I think a lot of y'all know from basically 2016 here at YamaCon. My wife also has brought her Lucky Star themed Scion XB as well, and then we also brought a friend of ours, Little Miata, with us. So hopefully if you guys got any questions on those, we should be able to answer those here in a little bit.
So our plan is we're going to kind of run through this slideshow pretty quickly, and then again, if you guys have questions or anything, just kind of hold them off till the end, and then we'll also be available by the cars after this panel. So if you guys wanted to talk to like an individual personally, or had just some personal questions, if you want to talk to us more in depth, then we are available to talk to you guys. Okay, so pretty much Itasha is essentially a card decorator with images from anime, video games, manga, anything like that. It derives from the words Ita, which is painful, and Sha, which is vehicle, so essentially painful vehicle or cringe car. Pretty much like you are a true diehard fan and you don't care how cringy it looks. And that is pretty much painful to your wallet because it's expensive sometimes. But I mean, it's kind of worth it. They're mainly seen across Japan, or like, especially like in Tokyo or that was it. However, there are a lot of them now in the U.S., especially on the West Coast, the East Coast, especially like the North Carolina area, and like the up north area, and then in Texas as well. But they have been slowly making their ways into a little bit more rural areas. We've been seeing a lot of like Midwest areas kind of pop up with Itashas, which is pretty neat. They've also been spotted in Taiwan, the Philippines, Brazil, Germany, the UK, pretty much anywhere across the world. It's becoming a pretty popular movement. So there's pretty much like two different types of Itashas. There's your full wrap ones and then your partial. Your full wrap is pretty much covering the entirety or majority of the car, including like the full color change, liveries, stuff like that. That's going to be kind of your more expensive route because again, you are covering the entire vehicle and not just, a certain side or just a hood or anything like that. It can range in the thousands of dollars to even more so, depending on how much you actually want to invest in the vehicle. You have a little bit more creative freedom with the full wraps because you are restricted to not like you can cover your whole vehicle. I mean, you can make it whatever you want. I mean, you could probably do glow in the dark if you really wanted to, or whatever on it. The partial wraps, that's kind of incorporating the vehicle's color into your design as well. So my car is a partial wrap. My car's color is white, and so I chose to add blue to it because it was a really nice contrast, and I felt like it would make the color pop a little bit better. The Lucky Star one on there is also a partial wrap and included that beautiful purple color in it, which adds really, really well with the colors. Again, that's going to be your price, but your cheaper one is probably going to be between a couple $100 to maybe a couple $1,000, depending again on the size of your vehicle and how much you want to cover. So there's two different styles of art that we typically use when creating Itashas. The first is your Raster Art, which is your pixel-based artwork. So like a lot of the manga panels and stuff like that. You tend to get a little bit more detail out of that. However, you are restricted to size because once you blow it up to a certain size, your slate will look really, really blurry, which is really, really bad. yeah, it was 6 years ago, so it's pretty dated. Still looks good though. And then the other is called Raster Art. It's essentially a PNG where it's not based on the pixels, it's more curves and lines. So no matter how big you blow it up, it's always going to be really crisp and really clear. I believe most of our cars out there are vector based. Mine is actually a combination of both. The Mongo panels in the background of my vehicle are the raster images, are pixel based, and then the main points of dot here are actually the vector. So you can kind of incorporate both. You just have to be smart about it and kind of know that once it's blown up, it could pixelate, so you just have to kind of play carefully with it. Where's Tony? So essentially, wraps can last anywhere from 3 to 7 years, depending on how well you take care of the vehicle. My car sat outside for probably the first year of having the wrap on it, and it's not really bothered it. But you do have to, like, you know, you have to keep up with them. And then,
This is a
okay. So essentially, like I was saying, if you can hear me, Itasha's will last anywhere from 3 to 7 years. Depends on how well you take care of it. A lot of our cars tend to sit outside, so sun bakes on them, rain hits it, snow, all that junk. As long as you pretty much kind of maintain it, you keep it clean, you know, wash it every once in a while. Listen, we're not all garage communities, okay? 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 Let me
Not all of us have a
let
garage.
me back up a second. Which car is here? Which car is here?
Having a garage queen doesn't make any sense when it's broken.
Exactly! He's my boyfriend, yes, it's okay. Yeah. So again, it really kind of just goes back to how well you want to take care of your car. It's a pretty big investment, and again, it is quite expensive to get something like this done. So if you're willing to put in that amount of money, you also have to make sure that you're willing to put in that amount of time. So in order, I guess, to really get started, what you really want to do is you kind of want to hone in on either a series or a character that you really, really want to do. It took me probably about a year to figure out what I wanted to do Dobby. I got through like 3 different designs and they were all crap. And then next, I personally designed my car, because that's what I do that for a living, but you can reach out to numerous artists in the community that actually do art, or do art for cars. We all use different artists, I think. Yeah, I think we all have 4 different artists up here. And they'll work with you, and they usually have diagrams of your car that they think will come up with a design that works well with your car, because each design is customized to specific, like that specific car. So like I can't take like Chris's design and throw it on my car because it's not gonna look good. No, it won't. It really is. He's large. Large.
If you're thinking of doing an Itasha and you want to go incognito anywhere, you might need a separate vehicle, because even getting gas, people will hop out of their cars and be like, "Can I get a photo?" And if it's, if it's dark out, you don't want people jumping out of a car while you're fueling. That's just a little awkward.
Yeah, it's also on the highways as well. I've been in Itasha almost 6 years now. I can barely go anywhere.
You have no idea how bad it is till you roll up to an off-road trail and you get stuck, and the guy's like, "What are you doing in this truck with it wrapped like this out in the middle of nowhere?"
Yeah, when you take your car to the drag strip and they let you stick your back. Instead of scat pack, yeah. And then, once you kind of get your design planned out, you want to reach out to a vehicle wrap shop. I know, like a shop that I work with personally is probably 5 or 6 different Itashas now at this point. I was this first, he had no idea what this was, and I was like, "Hey, listen, I need this slap was like, all right, cool, we'll work with it. And then it was your kid next, and then his car, and he was like, I have no idea what any of this is, but this is cool.
And make sure when you're looking for a wrap shop, make sure it actually specializes in cars. There's a lot of wrap shops out there that will do like commercial applications like buildings or box trucks, signs, boats, yeah, stuff like that. You want somebody that has experience with cars because cars are curvy, except for XPs, of course. But you know, I mean, yeah, yours is a curvy XP, that's right.
I'm sorry, I think inside the box.
I have an XP, shut up.
But again, like the wrap shop that I chose, he does a lot of like the NASCAR cars. He does a lot of dirt cars, a lot of colors. Yeah, a lot of vehicle graphics. He's done a lot of high-end Lamborghinis and stuff like that. So like I trust him pretty well with all of that. But again, like getting into doing Itasha and being a part of the community is really a lot of fun. I joined about a year, 2 years ago, and met all of these wonderful people, and it's so much fun hanging out with them and getting to go to cons and stuff like that. It's a huge family. We're all supportive of each other, usually. But you know, and we love to see each other grow, and you know, we give out flyers and stuff to help them, or if they're looking for a wrap shop or a design or anything like that, we're always happy to help them. So kind of going into that, Itasha is more than just a car being decorated. You've got the Itashas, which are the motorcycle or the scooter variants. That's, yeah. He's based out of Florida, or Alabama. That's kids like, you've got the Itasharis, which are the bicycle variants. The Ita bags, which I know are super popular now with all of your pins and stuff. That's kind of a variant, stuff like that. And the Decoy Toras, which are the semi-trailers. So you're going somewhere. You can throw a waifu on there and be considered. You got a ton of real estate. So these are some of the notable Itashas in our area and in our groups. We've got the Ruby Rose Camaro. We've got an S2K. I mean, we've got a bunch of different ones.
What's the ugly thing down in the bottom corner?
Which one?
That blue thing, I don't know. That
Listen,
looks like you.
Again, which car is here and which one's not?
I don't know, I mean, there's a brick
Hey,
chicken
now.
nugget on screen.
It might be broke, but it still sounds better.
But these are just kind of to give you guys an idea of how in-depth it can be. It can be something as simple as the clock going down in the middle, or something as complex as the Ruby Rose or the Aries. Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, there's the broken Hellcat.
Yeah,
Right in the middle.
The Pokemon car was supposed to be here, but you know, decided that it needed to just die. Like
Hey
2 weeks
now,
before.
I'll see you at the track.
So you don't necessarily have to go all out with your designs. It can be very simple. It can even be simple as doing like a fender design, like the yellow car there. You know, so I mean, it doesn't have to be as something as extravagant or as detail oriented as some of the ones that are out on display. However, we do try to kind of stay away from like the eBay variants, just because they are a little bit lower quality material, and most of the time, there's probably already 30 cars with that design on their side. So we like to be very creative and very unique in our designs, so that when you look at it, it's something that only that vehicle will have, and not 1,000 other vehicles out on the street.
Yeah, not only that, but the eBay wraps, like she was saying, have pretty bad quality. We've heard stories of when someone took an eBay wrap off, it pulled paint. So just keep that in mind. Try to do that. You get what you pay for. Yeah, it might be like $80, but you know, it's gonna cost you more than that.
Funny enough, though, I was actually at a car show out in like Texas area. We saw 2 eBay wraps of the same design on 2 different cars, and we pointed it out. We're like,
You don't want the same design as someone else.
yeah, no, it's just it's awkward when you roll in with the same design, same character, cool. custom designs, they look great, but it also takes away from the artists that make these. A lot of people take a lot of time in designing the artwork, and a lot of those eBay and Etsy ones are generic, that they just took the artwork and are just trying to make money off of something out of nothing. Stolen, basically.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times like we're in Itasha groups on Facebook and stuff like that, and I've seen somebody who would post, you know, a picture of their car that they've just gotten custom made or whatever, and then 2 days later there's an ad on my Facebook for that same exact design that somebody had just stolen blatantly from that artist and they're starting to resell. So you really kind of want to more like find a designer, and again, these pages on Facebook and on Instagram and everything like that will have that information for you and keep you guys in the right direction. Yeah, and it's not, your pricing to get all of this done will vary again by the car and by the artist. Like I know I'm kind of cheaper compared to some others, there might be some that are even cheaper than me. It really just depends on their skill level, and the number one thing is you gotta kind of respect that. You gotta go and understand that this is a very expensive thing that you're about to do, and you can't really haggle on price because the artist is taking a lot of time. Like my car alone took about 6 months to design and flesh everything out. Josh's took 3 months, not even.
That's only because I made her sit there and constantly work on it.
Yeah, he hounded me every day. But I mean, so like you gotta understand that these things can't just be cranked out in like 2 days. You know, you gotta kind of be patient. You gotta work with it and don't. Yeah. But you don't also have to get it done all at once. Like for my car and Zach's car, we both did our hoods first before we really figured out what our designs are. Zach's still working on his. He's had the hood for a year. Almost 2 years, yeah. So again, you don't feel like you have to get the entire thing done right away. You can kind of do it in increments, and it's a little bit easier money-wise if you can't afford everything at once.
Yeah, we get it's expensive, trust us.
We're broke. These are some more really cool designs. Again, it shows kind of that you can kind of do this on any vehicle. It's not restricted to just like Japanese vehicles because it is a Japanese term. Again, we've got the Ram, we've got a Mustang, we've got, the Mustang is gone, but we have Mustang. Right, so we've got a bunch of different things on there, and it's really cool creative-wise because you can do not just color changes, but you can do reflective. So the Nezuko car has reflective on the sides of it. So when you use like a flash photography on it, it will light up and change colors. I know that my car has it as well, just as an added little party trick for it. So really the creativity is there. It's just how much you want to invest in it and how creative and how outstanding you want to be.
If there's a couple people you know getting a Tasha wrap, definitely befriend the people with a truck, because if you're ever stuck, they come in handy.
Let me tell you, it was quite entertaining when Josh went to hang with Chris and his car broke down, and when they finally came back to our house, I had both a truck and a Hellcat sitting in my front yard.
It could be called the Itasha train.
No, just stop.
Just start calling it Weed Wreckers. Depends on how creative you want to get.
But here's some other like designs. I know that these are some of our other really cool ones. I mean, we've got even a Prius on there. So again, like don't feel like just because you have a boring car that you don't necessarily like that you can't do that. I mean, mine's just a pure stock now. There's nothing special about it. It's not fast. It's not modded. It's just pretty. That's it. So I mean, you can do fighting. So you can really do it to any car. I mean, we've seen smart cars be done. We've seen pretty much anything. Yeah, trucks. Anything and everything that has pretty much been done. Don't feel like your car is too plain or too boring to do it.
The smaller it is, it might be even cheaper, so you know.
True. Very true. So these are our former Itashas. The Deku car went through a tornado earlier this year, which was actually, he luckily was okay. There was damage done to the car, but it actually kind of gave him an excuse to revamp it, and he's actually recreated that car, or recreated a garbage truck. The S2K does have to eat itself off the side of the mountain. And then...
They're both okay, by the way. There was 2 people in that car.
Yeah, no, everybody is okay. Yeah, let me back up and preface all of that everybody was okay.
The Civic Type R actually was sold to Carvana, so if you were looking for a Civic Type R earlier this year, you may have actually seen it for sale. Because it was sold with the wrap still on it.
Yes. It was a problem child, though. It was a lemon, so there was just numerous...
7 fuel pumps later.
And then this is the official Good Smile Itasha, so they do race this vehicle. It's kind of, yeah, it's one of their newer ones. This is pretty much like top tier Itasha. Well, yeah, like, so, again, anything can be done. This is an actual race car that goes out and competes. So again, if a race car can do it, you can. Not speeding, but you know, being crazy. And then so all of the vehicles that were shown, these are their Instagram handles. I know it's a lot. I'm going to leave this up and we can start questions here in a moment. That way if you guys want to. Yeah, so if you guys have questions, if you would just kind of form a line in front of the microphone in front of the stage, that way everybody can hear you. We can go ahead and start questions. And maybe answers.
Y'all got any funny JoeCon stories, and can you explain what JoeCon was?
I'm gonna summarize it. Basically, we hung out at a buddy of ours' house. We got the cops called on us. People were outside drinking. It happened. It was a lot. We literally filled that entire parking lot, I was gonna say parking lot, driveway, backyard, side of the street. You know, some trucks were in like the front yard. People were four-wheel drive. Yeah, it was a buddy of ours. We've got stickers from it because we're like, hey, you know, all of the cons were canceled because of COVID, of course. We basically had our own con. We just all hung out.
Now something funny is if you see my XP in there, the white one, it's all the way on the ground because I'm on air suspension. I literally took it in the grass off-road where nobody else wanted to take their regular cars. And I'm like, whatever. And I literally almost cracked my front bumper 3 times doing that.
Yeah, that's because we're smarter and we don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, you know what? I daily mine. It's got 210,000 miles on it. That's another thing I'll bring up is I'm all about having the car. I decided to keep mine. I literally have 210,000 miles on my XP, and I think I put 2 motors into it just because I've had issues with it. And I'm gonna keep going because I love the car. It's all about the passion and the love for both sides of the anime and the car side. I think everybody up here would agree with that. That's why he's worked tirelessly to try and get his car here. And everybody else here they work their ass off to do what we do.
Yeah, no, my car was broke Wednesday and it's still here.
Oh yeah, you had to put an alternator in it, didn't you?
My car's broke, but it's still broke because, you know, there's a part shortage in Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, FCA does that to people.
No car, but he got no car.
Oh yeah, her car has no clutch. And it's still here. Yeah, we'll see what happens when we leave.
If anyone else has a question, feel free to come up.
Don't be shy.
We don't wait.
I mean, really, we're all here for safety.
What if your bro wanted to do this? Like, would it be cheaper to get on like the hood of your car or like the side of your car, or how would that work?
Yeah, hood, absolutely.
Yeah. So the best way to start is to get a design idea. Start with the hood. Even a windshield banner, actually. Because you can do windshield banners and have a custom one made, relatively inexpensive. And I think it's about 100, 150 just to have that put on the top of the car, on the windshield. And they last just as long as you take care of it. Now, the wiper blades will tear it up, mine's a prime example, but it's a start in that process. It's all about the passion.
I know. What about insurance? Does it raise your rate if you have this kind of stuff done?
They don't know I have it. We call it cut. I call mine a cut loss. If my cars get totaled, all the accessories and everything I've done to it, I'm not going to get back, but it's part of that game. do it for people.
Some insurance companies, you can add it on there, so if it gets damaged, it's covered. I'm thinking about it with mine because it's expensive.
Mine's covered. Yeah, mine is actually covered by my insurance because with my policy, I have a special section of modifications. As long as I have a receipt, it's actually liable for full value.
I'm getting two extras.
Thank you.
They won't cover if it's off-road. It has to be on-road accidents. So that's not an
It wasn't.
Just curious, do any of y'all drive it as like your normal daily car?
Yes.
I think the only one in there that's not, and it's because the owner of it technically is in Japan at the moment, is the Miata. Every other one of those we drive on a daily.
About driving it and maybe more.
So vinyl is actually pretty durable. Essentially, again, like I've driven mine as far. I mean, there's been, several of them went all the way down to Texas. I've been down into Tampa. It's actually pretty durable. I mean, again, if you do wrap your foot, you are gonna get like little chips and stuff here and there. That's one of the nature goes with it. But I mean, I think we hit like a pretty nasty rock on the way back from Atlanta, and it hit his car, bounced off, and scraped across mine, and we only had like the tiniest little chips in our vinyl.
I mean, you definitely stay away from driving beside the 18-wheelers because they will kick stuff any direction. And that's what tore the side line.
And really follow that 100-foot back roll when you see dump trucks.
Yes.
Yeah, I was part of that 17.5-hour convoy to Houston. We took a little detour off-road in Louisiana because apparently they think gravel is a road in Louisiana. If you want to see the footage of that, I think it was Bladed Angel. It was actually, he's got it on his video, and I was the one leading that convoy because everyone was like, yeah, let's stay off the highway. So I'm like, all right, cool.
I will contest the wrap is pretty durable because I take my car drag racing and burnouts and drifting, and it hasn't been torn out.
Now, I've had that mine for almost 3 years. There is going to be like little bits and pieces that get damaged every time. You'll notice them. Just do what you can to try to prevent them from growing in size. It's fine. I mean, you can get it reprinted, get it put back on the car if anything were to happen to it.
Yeah, usually the initial cost is the hard one because you want to go do all of it. But if you got to do like a patch panel, some companies will actually do a lot cheaper repair panels. And sometimes they won't match depending on sun fading, but if you do a whole side, you'll be able to notice.
The vinyl is definitely durable. I can especially speak to this because my truck has been buried up to the windows in mud. I have sent it through like trails with trees smacking the side of it. It's actually, I've been more impressed with the fact that the vinyl has been on there than the fact that my paint hasn't chipped. Like it's very impressive. It holds up really well. I'm probably the most abusive in the group on the wrap, and if you've seen the truck, it's been on there almost 2 years, and it still looks really good. There's definitely some spots, but the vinyl is very durable. You can definitely daily drive it. There's no problem.
Any other questions?
Come on.
Have any of y'all ever been pulled over because of your route?
I have, yeah. I got pulled over, and I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, and he pulled me over. I'm pretty sure it was for my route. The only thing he could get me for was my 10th license plate cover. Because immediately when he pulled me over, he was like, "So what's the deal with the car?" I'm like, all right, here we go.
I had a couple cops going down the highway just look at me, give me a big old thumbs up, literally in, like, what was that, Amarillo, Texas. They were just like, hey, kept on rolling, and I had my train horn, and they just kind of looked back and just smiled and took off.
I get pulled over a lot.
It's because you're in a Mustang. That's a Mustang.
So the most recent one was actually last week. I was driving to pick up my buddy at the airport, and I was driving behind a police officer on 85 down to Charlotte, and he threw his lights on, and I was confused because my radar detector didn't go off. And literally, as I pull over, he's like, "I just want to look good, dude."
Do you have any tips for maintaining and cleaning the wraps and stickers and all that?
So, I typically will use a lot of the detail garage chemical guys stuff. That's kind of been my go-to. I pretty much will use like a foam cannon to clean mine, and a pressure washer to help kind of break through the dirt. But you do just have to be careful because if you hit it at just the right angle, you're actually going to peel your vinyl off, or cut it. And then typically for detailing, we'll use like a wrap detailer, or we've even used just like the Carnival wax spray just to kind of keep it really shiny and keeping your friends as much as off of it.
Do not, if you go to a drive-through car wash to clean your car, do not go to one with brushes.
I don't go to any of those. I use the coin ops if I can't do it. If I'm out of town, I'll find like a little coin op spray it yourself kind of wash, and I'll take a microfiber, usually a rag that I have, but it's been around, and I'll get the car all soapy wet, get it all going on, use that instead of the brushes at those, because a lot of times putting a brush on that, scratch everything.
If you're lazy, like you can use the touch spray ones, like the laser washes. That's what I've been doing for the cars.
I won't let mine go through with the top box. Enemy auto's too low.
But just make sure if there's any dirt on it, you completely wash it, because any little bit of dirt is going to scratch that vinyl.
Any other questions?
Don't be shy. We don't bite hard. Maybe Chris is. Well, if that's it. Thank you all for coming out to the panel then, I guess. I mean, we'll be at the Raster Art. Oh, come on. Okay.
So, a car wash, if you use the ones that have the spinning brushes that will actually hit the side of your car, those will actually damage your wrap or even potentially peel it off. So if you do a drive-through car wash, you want to do another touchless laser. That way you don't have to worry about anything hitting the car or anything, it's just being sprayed on.
Just avoid the spinning brushes of death.
They're not that bad, man. Don't scare them. For the cars, they're bad. For the cars, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're bad if you got stuck in
general. It's not a good thing. We'll talk about those videos. Alright, well, we'll all be standing by the cars, so if you guys have any other questions, feel free to come talk to us if you didn't want to do it here. And thank you for coming out.
Thank you guys.